Overexplained is where I do a deep dive into any given topic and I explain it like a lot. So we should probably get into it so I don't stop, wasting your time. Okay, bye.
All right, first things first, I'm the realist. No, but actually, first things first, before we get into this, you guys gotta really understand my background to have an accurate representation of where I was coming into these 4 sessions. All right, so let's talk prerequisites for your gorilla, Buddha, Yoda, whatever you want to call them, spins. So obviously the main one is tuck planches, because to get a gorilla spin, you need to be in a tuck planche position while adding rotation into it. So for tuck planches though, we need a couple things before that, and I feel like people don't really talk about the breakdown of this, so we're going to break it down into every individual part that I can think of. So before your tuck planche, you have your pseudo push-up. So your pseudo push-up is basically a basic push-up position, as you see to the right of it, but your hands are usually more so turned sideways or backwards, and your weight is over top your arms. Because when we're in a tuck planche position, you have to bring all the weight off your legs to hold yourself up. So this position is what you want to train prior to getting a tuck planche if you can't already do one. Now I added a basic push-up position in here just so you can see the difference between a basic push-up position and a pseudo push-up position. If your body weight is centered over your legs and your arms like a push-up position should be, you're not going to be in the proper position for a pseudo push-up. So that's why it's kind of there as a control test. Now, a lot of people don't talk about your tuck flexibility. Now this is an important one that may hold some people back. If you don't have proper hip flexor and leg flexibility to be able to hold this position, then you're not going to be able to do gorilla spins, because you want to have your knees nice and tucked to your stomach. So make sure that you're doing your stretching and that you have this flexibility down. If you need help with it, definitely let me know and I can help you with that. Now, going on from that, you need proper wrist strength. So this is a move that's extremely challenging on your wrists and it will labor them immensely. I added a little screenshot of my wrist conditioning video. That's the name of it. If you need help with that, I would suggest going there, and I have them all broken down at different levels so that it's nice and workable for you depending whatever level you are. And then finally, when you want to start rotating in your tuck planche position, you need to understand your tuck planche touches. So this is just leaning to one side and bringing one arm out, and leaning to the other side and bringing one arm out. So it's basically just understanding how to transfer your weight in a tuck planche position, which we'll get into a little bit later.
All right, now that you know the prereqs, I think you have a better understanding of where I was coming into this challenge, you could say. And that's that I already was pretty comfortable with all the prereqs. And I've been doing transfer styles and things around tuck planches for quite a few years, so I definitely had all the base that I needed to be able to perform gorillas. I just hadn't actually done the actual work towards getting the move because I honestly just lacked the self-confidence and drive to believe that I could do it. So once I actually focused and was able to hone in on it, I got them pretty quickly, which is one of the main reasons that I want to make these series and push these boundaries for myself, is because I had a lot of these limitations that I put into place for myself simply due to my own mentality, where I'm trying to really adjust that mentality into one that allows me to really push the boundaries in my physical capabilities, regardless of my preconceived notions about my capabilities. Okay, session 1. So here I literally just tried doing what I thought the move looked like. But at the beginning, I started with my wrists forwards, which was a huge mistake, which I'm gonna adjust later. You should definitely have your wrists sideways, because forwards you don't get anywhere. And then as you see here, I'm trying some of the drills to really get a better understanding of my weight transferring. Now this is when I first started trying to turn my wrists sideways, and I was like, oh! Dude, sideways. So as you see, I was pretty excited about that. Yeah, so after that, it really adjusted my understanding of the move. And that's the thing, when we kind of play around with these moves for a long time, as soon as we adjust this little thing, usually that's all it takes. So at the beginning, I was really confused on keeping my knees locked together or apart, because I've seen some people where they keep their legs apart and it looks really bad. So at this point in time, I believe that keeping my legs together and trying to really shift my full weight from side to side was the way to do it.
Congratulations, LOL.
At this point in the session, I kind of encountered the thing that I think most people are going to encounter with this move, and that's wrist fatigue. So your wrists burn out pretty quickly. So I was just trying to do whatever I could to fully burn out because I knew I wanted to get the most out of each session, because I wanted to really progress in as short amount of sessions as possible. So I'm just burning out here, doing basically whatever I can, because I didn't have any more energy for gorillas. So then I did touches and then just holding. So finally for burnout on day one, I don't know if you guys remember the Sally Up challenge, but I tried doing the Sally Up challenge with tuck planches because again, I just wanted to really throw my body fully into it. Now this is like potentially overtraining a little bit, so definitely be cautious of this kind of movement, but I enjoyed it. I felt like it was a good challenge, and I didn't complete it day one, but I did later on. Now in hindsight, like how helpful was this or beneficial was this to me getting gorillas? I mean, I think anything that trains tuck planches is beneficial. Burning out with it to this degree, I just think it gives you a little bit more of that will and drive to push to really get a move like this, because if you already kind of have it, you kind of need that little bit of grit and blood and sweat and tears, and doing little challenges like this I find really gives me the motivation to push that extra mile. Okay, so session 2, I don't know if it was just like sleeping or what it was, but I definitely found right after I tried a couple, like I was like, okay, I feel like I could just go harder and faster now. And I did, and now I'm like, oh, I think I'm starting to feel a little bit more like gorilla spins, and boom, 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 here you go. These are looking way better. So what I did to really get that was just trying to really place my hands faster and rotate quicker rather than worrying about my legs transferring over. So this is when I'm starting to realize that maybe my knees don't actually matter, it's more so my arms and being able to shift faster. So then what I start trying to do from here is actually transitioning into turtles because, excuse me, because I find sometimes when you're training power moves and moves that are really challenging, or like at least mentally challenging to you, that learning how to transition to another move right away can sometimes really help you pull the focus off of that one move and into the transition, which then in turn makes you get the first move better because you're focused on the second move now. So when you start making the second move a bigger deal than the first move, but the first move is the move that you actually want to get, then in turn it allows you to get the first move with more ease, if that makes sense. Now, with that being said, the thing that you'll encounter here sometimes is that you don't actually really like that transition. So that's kind of what I found, is I'm like, turtles to gorillas aren't really the most fun. So then I was like, what about tuck flares? Oh, tuck flares? Well, this is actually like, it makes sense. Both knees are tucked for both moves, and then this is the first one that I hit. That's why I was giving you a little smile there, because I was like, oh snap, oh look at that. And I was like, oh, I can maybe transition them all three. So as soon as I opened up tuck flares, because my tuck flare foundation is pretty solid, I was like, oh my goodness, I can definitely do this. And then you get hype. And as soon as you get kind of hype about something, that's when you can really start making gains in it. Yes, that is very loud. Hopefully not for you guys. So as soon as I figured out I could do tuck flares and gorillas together, I got super excited, because I found for myself that a lot of power is more mental than it is physical. Like I'm physically more capable than mentally capable, if that makes sense, of doing power. So I find if I can get myself out of my own way, I can usually get something way faster. So as soon as I got hype about the transition, it made the actual move of gorillas feel easy, because I'm like, well, if I can transition out of it, then I can do the move. And as soon as I feel like I can do it, then I actually start attacking it with a way that allows me to get it way faster. So now that I'm actually getting confident with it, I'm like, all right, let's do a transition into tuck flares and then into gorillas. So I'm starting to actually make a little combination. And as soon as I master this combination, which happens here pretty quickly, that's all the confidence I really needed to like really finally feel like I can do this move. Because gorillas to tuck flares to gorillas to tuck flares was like a move I've seen before, and like it was a dream move for me. So to be able to achieve it as soon as I kind of broke down these walls was giant. And then from there, I go right into the Sally Up challenge again, and this time I do complete it, but I'm not gonna waste your time on that, so I'm just gonna speed this up. Okay, session 3. So session 1 and 2 were back to back. Session 3, I tweaked my knee in the middle, so I rested. I didn't really want to do anything, so it was a while. I also wanted to give my wrists a bit of a break. And I found once I kind of got into it that like I could really push going the extra speed like here once. But then like after trying kind of a little bit more, I definitely found I kind of lost it. So yeah, I think we definitely have like enough juice in our tank to like push that extra layer maybe 1-2 times a session. But after that, I definitely found that I lost my juices with it. But then I decided to just do this side-up challenge and just be like, as long as I got a little bit quicker each session, I was okay. So that's what happened. Then I just do side-up challenge here, and then I call it. So this is just a very quick one. Okay, session 4. So this one, I was really going in with the mentality of like just full send, just go quicker, just turn faster, turn faster, turn faster. And this is one of my first attempts. And as you can see, that was like the best one that I have on camera. So that hypothesis that like, obviously, I mean, it's not so much a hypothesis, it makes sense. When we're the most rested and healed, that's when we can perform the best. So I try to do a bunch after that and they don't quite go the same. Now the big difference with session 4 is I really went into it with the mentality of don't move my knees. And I realized when I start to not move my knees, I can just turn quicker, because when you're really focusing on getting both knees to one arm before rotating, it slows you down. But when you go quicker, I think it looks better. And also when you're going faster, you can't actually see what your knees are doing so much because you're going so quick. So it doesn't even matter. So in my opinion, adjusting your knees seems like a misconception. And here I'm just trying to go for 10. I'm like, okay, well, if I can hit that, I need to at least be able to hit like 10 or more. And then I can say that I kind of have the move mastered. And then lastly, I really wanted to hit that transition from tuck flare to gorillas to tuck flare to gorillas faster. And I did do tuck flare into gorillas faster, but it's definitely way harder to control. And because of already pushing my wrists on doing all of the gorilla spins prior to this, I definitely found that I was burnt out. I still tried for a long time, as you can see though, because I was like, I'm doing it for the video, it's gotta be good. So like I did kind of do it, but I definitely did not hit it the way that I want to, but I gave up on that because at the end of the day, showing the reality of burnout, I think, is more important than showing the perfection of the movement. So stay tuned for me perfecting that transition. But until then, I hope this helped you guys. I really like these series, and if you want to see more progressions and me hitting more of these kind of impossible moves, in my opinion, for myself, then please comment down below. Let me know. I hope you liked this video, and I hope I helped you out. I find these moves are, as I said, more mental than physical. So hopefully with my knowledge of both, you guys will be able to get this move with more ease than maybe I did. Okay, much love, peace. And lastly, I know this is like a 4-session video, so it looks like a highlight reel. It's like, oh wow, you got the move so quickly. But remember, this is a move that like has been kind of on my mind for like 8 years. So it only took maybe 4 sessions of actual focus to get it, but I've been playing around with stuff similar to this for a long time. So when I say with more ease, I mean you're able to go into it and try it and achieve it without having to have all these years of kind of like playing around with the move without actually achieving it. Okay, that's all.
Love is love. Love is love.